Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. As always, Matt makes me laugh right before the intro. I am your host, Sean Green, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Matt Jackson. Matt, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man? It's been a week.
It has been a week. So, for those of you that have been watching and might not know, we're on the Traveling Roadshow this week again. So, Matt's been traveling. I'm traveling for work. As you can tell by my background, I'm in a hotel. So the lighting's going to suck and everything else. More to follow on that, anyways. But it's a sad day for the podcast as well. If you have been watching at all, you know this podcast are huge R-Truth stands, and we love us some R-Truth. And unfortunately, this week, R-Truth was notified that his contract was not being renewed. Okay, Matt, what's your initial thoughts?
So when I first heard, of course, I was bummed out, and I was trying to figure out why, and then I think I kind of know the why. It was a money issue at the end of the day. Our Truth was a Vince guy. Vince paid him big money. I think when they were looking at doing his contract, I think it was for far less money. And also, I just think that they're looking at kind of trimming the budget because some of these big stars are getting big money, possibly. And honestly, I think that they'd known that our Truth was going to leave for a while, and they kept it under their hats. And I think our Truth knew about it, which is why he got the big match with Cena on national TV. I think that was kind of, yeah, we're not re-signing you, but we're going to kind of give you a big thank you by putting you on national TV against, a legend in one of his few remaining appearances. So, yeah, as a wrestling fan, I'm wicked bummed out. But if you think of it from the business side, it's a business. People get cut. People get cut from sports teams. You go to work one day and hey, you get laid off. So it's just the sucky part of life.
Yeah,
And our truth got
temporary
caught.
out.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just life isn't fair. It sucks. But that's my take on it. How about yours, buddy?
So I agree with you on a lot on everything. Honestly, it's a business decision. He wanted more money than what they were willing to pay. Let's be real. He's 54, right? Like
I'm
he's no spring
54.
chicken. And you do a podcast, like our truth can still do splits and craziness and whatnot,
Yes.
and do a. But the whole point is that he's 54, right? And like to your point, sports teams cut people all the time, and I think people need to realize that at some point your ROE or ROI, return on investment, isn't worth what you're paying in. And then that leads I'm disappointed, but I'm okay with it. That's the end story with the R-Truth
Same.
for me. I'm
Same.
disappointed. I'm gonna miss seeing him and his little vignettes and everything, but I understand. It's a business decision. Now, let's talk about rumors. So, I have a bunch. Okay, so related to R-Truth, one, you already kind of touched on it, that he wanted more money than they were willing to pay. They tried to lowball him, essentially, is how it was put. Cena made sure he had a match on the farewell tour because Cena caught wind of it. That's a rumor on the street. There's a rumor on the street that The Rock is trying to push out Triple H's head of creative. And let me tell you, everybody that blames Triple H for like global warming, volcanoes, scraped knees, need to chill the F out because let me tell you something. Like, I cannot tell you how many people I've seen been like, oh, Vince needs to come back. Vince needs to come back. Like, have you lost your effing mind? Do you not remember the product? Go watch the Raw after Mania, then tell me if Vince needs to come back. Like,
Watch the
he lost his
2022 Royal Rumble, which I was at. That was Vince to the max.
it's people need to chill out. There's also another thing floating around. TKO is actually in the hole by like three. They're in the hole financially right now, which might also be contributing to this. But woosah, everybody, wrestling's out there. It's gonna be okay. But there's a lot of intrigue out there, and let me tell you, all this rock crap makes my freaking head want to explode because I don't think this this is a mini rant. This isn't a full blown rant. This is a mini rant, but I don't think anybody has done more damage in recent history to WWE than The Rock himself. He has done more damage in 2 years because he comes in, he tries to take over Cody's story, so then all of us are like, well, when's Cody going to finish his story? Why the F did he win Royal Rumble? Yeah, we all start asking questions, right? So he screwed up that one. Then he comes back, he's like, John Cena heel. Ugh. And then it's like, deuces. And it's like, and like, I guess the whole rumor of him and WWE having strife between, before 40 was he was boo boo faced about who was using whose private jet. Like he thought WWE should have sent him one and he didn't want to use his, or I don't know. It's stupid shit. But at the end of the day, I do really, really think that The Rock needs to just keep his effing mouth shut and just enjoy the ride. Because Triple H knows how to book. Shawn Michaels knows how to book. You might not like all of them, but they know how to do it. And I don't trust The Rock. The Rock would be Vince Light, and it would be shit. So
Agreed. And the Triple H thing, I just don't know if Triple H, while still being in charge of creative, I don't know if they're starting to put his balls in a vice or not. So maybe they're making him be the one that's like, because they said that the release of R-Truth and Carlito was a Triple H release. Well, yeah, you could put the name on it, but if he's getting pressure from on higher, like, hey, you have to let him go. They're not gonna take the hit. They're gonna throw it on Triple H. So I have a feeling that Triple H's job has become much more difficult in the last few months. Not self-inflicted, but afflicted by others. Because I think Triple H is a fairly humble guy. I think getting older and his health conditions and all that stuff. You watch all the interviews with him and Steph, and now the segments that they're breaking all the walls down. You kind of seeing who Paul Levesque really is, and he just doesn't come across as this like arrogant, cutthroat, heartless person. The Rock, on the other hand, has a lot of Vince McMahon's attributes, where he takes any emotion out of it in its business deal, because then Vince would like fire you and then bring you back. Which also, like, is there a chance we see R-Truth in WWE down the line? I would say that there's a better chance we will than we won't, that we'll see him return for something. Probably definitely down the line, a Hall of Fame induction I think would be in the cards, but I think we'll see him back. But yeah, it just they love to crap on Triple H, and everybody does. I'm a Boston fan. I crap on every coach of every team that we have. And then when we fire the coach, I look back and I'm like, why'd we fire him? And then complain about the new coaches. So it's almost like Triple H is like the head coach. So anything that goes wrong, you blame it on the head coach. So there you go. So Coach Levesque, we'll stand behind you until you prove us otherwise.
I'll
Until you
stand
prove otherwise.
behind them because we actually have stuff like, I don't know, long-term storytelling. Where the hell has that been? As opposed to like putting wrestlers in a bingo hopper and being like, click, 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 click. Oh, look, it's going to be Omos and Tozawa. Go. Like, come on. And that's what really towards the end of the Vince era, that's what it felt like. And I can't tell you how many matches towards the end of the Vince era I was kind of like, yo, Matt, why are they, well, why? And it was all filler. It was shit. And now I feel like every good, bad, or indifferent, almost every match that you see on SmackDown, almost every match that you see on Raw has a meaning. It has a need. It has something to do with something. It's either setting up something, closing out something, or it might lead to something down the road later. There's always a little tie-in, and it's worthwhile. But I agree with you.
Also, like they used to throw one guy against another guy and be like, "What's that for?" Like, you can have a wrestle another wrestle without a storyline, but you want to watch because by both characters, both wrestlers, it's going to be good. So, like, that's okay. And we do see that from time to time. But Triple H, like you said, has done a great job of just having, like, oh, we'll throw this match together. And you're like, for what? At least if you got two wrestlers going together, even if there's not a storyline, Maybe they put them in a match just to see how the match goes to build something. But if you got two good wrestlers and there's no storyline, you know it's at least you're going to have a good match. Like, oh, they put them together because they know they'd be entertaining. So at the end of the day, we're wrestling fans. We want to be entertained. So, but it has to make sense too.
Okay. So I have to get something out of the way while we're still kind of sort of on R-Truth. And I want to point this out because Matt knows this is true. Before Bully Ray said, I'm busted open, that John Cena should take credit for freaking R-Truth getting fired, I texted that to Matt a day before that. Before it was said on the air,
Yes.
I texted Matt and said that. So, yes. I like
Maybe I
when
can
I
go back
libel
and
Bully Ray, but I get PO'd because we didn't record before he cut it, and I caught it on social media, and I'm like, damn it, get out of my
we may
head, dude.
we may have to snapshot that text and then upload it to this video and post it.
I'm gonna look someday. I'm gonna figure out how to screen share, and I will actually do that. I do have it
Yes.
though. I do have it. So you know what, Matt?
Real
let's go
quick
on.
too about the Cena thing. You know what? I'll wait till Raw. When we talk about Raw, I'm going to bring up what I was going to say in regards to R-Truth and
Okay.
Cena.
All right. Good. So, are you rested? Are you relaxed? Because you know who got extra sleep during SmackDown this week? This guy. For the first time in definitely in the entirety of the Triple H era, and God knows how long, I fell asleep during wrestling. That's how bleh the freaking SmackDown was this week. It was that effing bad. Regardless of the fact that I was exhausted, I'm telling you, it was no bueno.
No.
So,
Minus a couple of matches, it was, yeah, SmackDown was subpar.
it was subpar, big time. All right, so let's just get into it. So, look, man, I'm just going to blast through these. So, Bianca comes out. The love triangle happens again. Look, I know where Hallmark Channel gets their actors now, and it is those involved in this love triangle storyline. Because when they try to give heartfelt promos or whatever you want to call it, it comes across as hollow and like high school actor like acting. It was not
Yes.
good. Like you could tell they're trying. Believe it or not, I do think Naomi's really good at it. I will say that. Like I'm gonna give Naomi her props. But like you listen to her and Bianca Belair talk, and then Jade says nothing. She just beats people up, which I love. But, um, but like Bianca versus Naomi, Naomi's giving you substance, and Bianca comes across as somebody that's in a high school play. Like I just don't buy it. I'm ready for this to be done. Let's get to SummerSlam and get this blow off. And like I got in my notes.
I did like Naomi, though. She actually, like, she got tears going. Like, she was crying, like, real tears. And I'm like, was I emotionally impacted? No. But I was like, I was impressed that she got into that character that much. And I was like, because she added something to it. Did it hit me in
She
the
did,
heartstrings? No.
but it's not good. And look, um, they missed an opportunity. And we're gonna. One of the themes throughout this is missed opportunities. So one missed opportunity that hasn't been brought up is if this was gonna go the way it does. If I was an asshole booker, guess what? The qualifying match for Money in the Bank would have been Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade. That would have been a qualifier match. Like, just let them just do whatevs. And you could have
I
worked
don't
up
think
so
Bianca's
much drama
cleared,
in that.
but she's
She
not
isn't.
fully cleared yet. So that's why. If she was,
She
that would be
isn't,
wise.
but I'm just bringing up the point that it was something that could have been done. Because instead,
Yeah.
we could get Nia Jax, Jade, and Naomi. Um, Look, Jade's gotten a lot better. Jade is getting better every week. I got to give her her props, but let's see what else I got. Rough leg drop, couple of cool moments. There's a deliberate push for the women. Yeah, I have noticed that. So, if you don't know, Evolve is coming up. Or, yeah, yeah.
Evolution.
Anyways, Evolution, sorry, it is coming up. So, part of Evolution is on all women's PLE, And the good news is with that being said, WWE is making a deliberate push to give women more airtime, and they're making you give a shit about the women. And they're doing good. They did it with this match. They let it cook for a little while. It was rough. That match was rough.
It was bad. I gave it a D plus. It was that bad, and I don't think I've ever given a match a D. And I put that it was a botch fest and awful. And then I wrote it was the drizzling shits. That's an Ole Anderson term, and it was the drizzling shits. And then and I wrote in all caps. I says when a triple threat doesn't work, because we've talked in past podcasts like you're not a big fan of multi-person matches, triple threats and four ways, and then you said about a week or two ago that WWE seems to have gotten the grasp on how to do it. Well, they definitely they slipped on the banana peel with this one last Friday. It was
I
bad.
have I have Chappelle show in my head, like when triple threats go wrong. Like when he used to have the sketch that was like when keeping it real goes wrong. That was this match for triple threats. When triple threats go wrong. Screw that crap. I hate when people screw up my drop my leg drop. It was bad, man.
It was bad.
But hey, so then we get a backstage segment. It's Solo and Jacob and JC Mateo. R-Truth pops in. R-Truth doing R-Truth things. Thank God we at least got one going out the door. Um, yeah. So he took one for the team and he got crushed. And this is before we knew everything. So it was kind of disappointing, but he took one for the team. But so for this moment, here's to you, Truth. Eh, like all to you, buddy.
Yeah. I wouldn't have had this match happen if you knew you were gonna. For two reasons, I wouldn't have not had R-Truth go out against JC Mateo. I would have had his last match against John Cena because
Yeah.
that'd be quite a way for him to leave WWE. And then back to your point you said earlier, where Cena can say that R-Truth is no longer here because of me. Well, it would just add more validity because John Cena was R-Truth's last match. So basically, John Cena either hurt R-Truth so bad or just made him that upset with R-Truth he just did his thing of ruining wrestling by making R-Truth leave. I mean, he can still use it, but it's just not as effective as if his last match was John Cena Saturday night. And then for him to go out in 3 minutes to JC Mateo, I was just kind of, and I got it. It was for Mateo to show off, but I just, knowing what we know now, it didn't bother me when I watched it live Monday night. Then it kind of bothered me after I found out he got released, and it was just so his last match is JC Mateo and not John Cena. That was one of the first things I thought too. So
yeah, I feel like there was this all vibes to me, like this whole situation vibes to me like we did SmackDown, and then there was some uncomfortable phone calls over the weekend of we got to cut money, you got to cut personnel, and I don't want to get into it. I wasn't in the room, but that's what it vibes like. So let's get back on track so we get the Street Profits. Look, tag team wrestling rules SmackDown. I'm loving Candice LeRae as a manager. I think it's a great, and they kind of give you the why too, and I like that as well. Frazier sells awesome. He sells on everything. And then I have a note. I need the why on the Wyatts. And I think we're slowly getting that, but I need the why. And then
I
I
wrote
put,
I wrote the same thing. Not
apparently they feel they're owed something. Look, I don't want to go into it because we have to talk Money in the Bank. It's this weekend. We also got to talk AAA. So I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with the Wyatts right now, but I do feel like it's ramping up to something, and I feel like if Alexa Bliss is not going up and over on Money in the Bank, that's going to be a launching point for the Wyatts, and I think that's where you can answer a lot of questions like why did they shift their kind of mantra over? Why do they have a different kind of vibe right now? You could be like, oh no, you know, Alexa Bliss, who I think by canon is Sister Abigail or something to that effect, is you know what I'm saying? Like we can kind of get that steering of the ship of, oh no, I have a tribe now. So I'm gonna woosah on the Wyatts for now because I don't want to freak out about it, but I do think we need the Y pretty soon, and they're kind of hinting
Yes.
at it. And if you want to slow roll it, I'm fine, but I need some of those deliciously wonderful, like Wyatt, spooky, creepy, like vignettes. That's all I need. I don't need them out there kicking everybody's ass because look, thinking back on it, because as we're talking about them, and I don't want to. I know I said I didn't want to harp on them. They were doing some really great effing work before they kind of got dismantled because one or two of them got hurt. Like certain little things that I loved about them was so good. When they would have like a tag team match and like Uncle Howdy would be like in the rocker just rocking the whole match, not interacting, just laughing when his guys are getting. That's tight. And like I think we need to get back to that a little bit because look, here's my problem. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, and I accept that. There's a place for the Wyatts in WWE, and this is why. If we are not careful, we're not going to get the spectacle anymore. We're just gonna have a bunch of people wrestling. And part of the lure of WWE is the spectacle. And like Undertaker is obviously the poster child for this, right? Like Undertaker, even it is American Badass and everything else, but everything was a spectacle. It was special,
And
and
it's a
there's a place.
supernatural effect for it, like Undertaker was supernatural for the most part. There's some supernatural spooky aspect to Wyatt Six, so yeah, you can't
It's
lose
different.
that.
It's
Yeah, if they
different,
lose
right?
that, then it's not the Wyatt Six anymore. It's just, like you said, a
It's
group of
just
wrestlers.
six dudes.
Yeah.
So but that's the main thing I want to take away from this. Like there is a place for that because it's different, right? Because as much as we all love to watch luchadors go at it and all our favorite wrestlers go at it, like there's a place for something a little different. Like because when you have a little different, your storylines become diverse, right? Bloodline storyline worked as good as it did because it was different, right? They weren't just a faction. Like even all the greatest factions in the world all had like this uniqueness to all the good ones had a
Yes.
uniqueness to them. Like the nation, even the Nation of Domination, which was looking back, that was just shitting Hall of Famers all over the place for the most part, except for a couple. Like, but Nation of Domination had a thing, right? And then you got like DX, and then you got DX 2.0 after Shawn Michaels got hurt. Like it was an aura. It was that group of goofballs out there. Like all your great, like even
Even your minor factions, like look at Right to Censor. They were different. They unique. They weren't a big faction, but together they were like a little fun group because they had a different theme behind them. But you knew who they really were beforehand, so it kind of was. I just was a big Right to Censor fan because I like Stevie
but
Richards. But
my point is that even like Judgment Day, right? Judgment Day started off as kind of spooky, little bit whatever, and like they just turned into the frat party. Like it's a frat house. It's your 20-something frat house. Like those guys that didn't really give up on college life. That's what the Judgment Day really is. But it's a thing, right? So you could play off of the factions vibe and really kind of build storylines off of it. My whole point is there's a place for the Wyatts, but let's move on. So we get Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans versus Legado de Fantasma. Look, Javon Evans is really effing good.
he's legit.
I
Yeah.
was watching that match and I was like, I have two notes. Evans is good, and it was a fun match. And for a Ray Phoenix match for Sean to not just go Ray Phoenix, that is all, that says something. And Evans was good.
Did they say Evans was 19 or 20 years old? Did they say
I
something
didn't catch
about
it.
him being? I thought I heard something. I should have wrote it down, but man, that was a fun match, and I'm kind of glad to see them get a. I know they didn't get the win, but it was good to see. You say it better than I do. I trip over it, but the team that won the match, Bento and Angel. There we go. But no, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, and I just uh, yeah, it got a little overbooked at the end, but it was because of the Wyatt segment. But the match itself, for what it was, that was one of only two good matches that night. That like
Yeah, that caught my attention. So,
yes,
all right, Chelsea Green time. Look, and I'm going to say this about Karrion Kross as of late, too. And I know we talked about him and his contract situation. Chelsea Green has written the playbook for maximize your opportunities. If she's not wrestling, she's still significant. And her whole playing into the busted nose and everything else, it was so like well done. The only problem is we talked about this before. Need the Secret Service to start winning some shit so they can be
yes,
like a
legitimate.
thing.
Yeah,
And like I know I'm cursing a lot tonight, but man, this episode of SmackDown really pissed me off. And then like on top of that, like the match itself was a match. It was nothing good, nothing bad, nothing good. It was a match, and it was that. And then we close out the show. So Matt, what do you remember about the whole Cody John Cena thing?
uh, I I kind of woke up at the end when well, actually, no. Before that, didn't we had the triple threat? We had the last Money in the Bank qualifier. So you must have fallen asleep for the qualifier,
Oh
which
yeah,
was so. I guess I'll take over this next segment, folks.
buddy.
We had Fatu, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade in the Money in the Bank qualifier. Did you see it or you didn't?
Parts. I think this is when, like anybody that has fallen asleep during wrestling knows what happens. They'll cut to a commercial, the eyelids get heavy, and then they come back you kind of half open. So now you're kind of like you watch this podcast in little chopped up segments. That's pretty much how you watch that match. So you remember bits and pieces. It's half dream state, half real.
So I thought it was a weird one to have Fatu in there, just because he's already got the
Vega was Vega was in
Vegas.
a
I know.
qualifier match. Lives
Yeah,
in a qualifying match. It
yeah. It's
is
just
what it is.
it is
For
what
the
it is.
world championship.
But I knew that Fatu wasn't going to win. So now we have Carmelo Hayes and we have Andrade. And I remember watching the beginning of the match and I'm like, well, it could be Carmelo Hayes, but that would be dumb because they're still playing on how Miz botches everything. So if all of a sudden it works out, that eliminates the last 3 weeks of storytelling with Carmelo and the Miz. So I'm like, it's going to be Andrade. And sure enough, it was Andrade, and it was a solid match. I gave what I give it. I gave it a B plus. It was actually I think it was, yeah, because I ended up giving Phoenix, Evans, and Lagarza a B minus. It was still good. So I mean, a B is still good, but that was the match of the night with those three. Miz got killed outside the ring a couple times. Miz, yeah, Miz is yeah, he's a great seller, and then just Fatu with his reckless abandonment, just crashing through barriers and flying everywhere. Dude's an animal. I freaking love Fatu. So what I
I
like
love
about
that
them
they
putting
I love
Andrade and the Money in the Bank is you got some, and we're gonna talk Money in the Bank, but you got a couple of like people when you before you saw you like I don't see them in Money in the Bank, but now that they're there, the like it makes the Money in the Bank match better. And Andrade is not going to win Money in the Bank ladder match, but having Andrade in that match is going to make that Money in the Bank ladder match better. And so that is the right thing to do was to have Andrade going over. You keep the whole Fatu solo future split going. And of course, we all know that Carmelo Hayes and Miz, they're not going to stay forever. They'll be getting a divorce pretty soon. So, um, So yeah,
So
I thought that was good with Andrade. I have no notes on the John Cena Cody Rhodes segment because I fell asleep during the commercial break.
So here's the deal, and I wanted to point this out, like as we talk about these qualifiers, because it kind of applies. A lot of people pissed and moaned about Andrade being in the Money in the Bank, qualifying for it. Here's the deal: you got to look at the style of match Money in the Bank is, and who's going to get you the most bang for your buck. And like him or hate him, that match is going to play to Andrade's strengths. And I think that you have to keep that in mind as you go because that's important. Because like putting the right people in there. Argument could be made for Carmelo Hayes, but he's got other shit to do, right? And we're gonna find out tomorrow if Money in the Bank is a four match card or it's a 5 match card. But all right, what else you got, Matt? Take the helm.
Um, I just, I honestly, I feel bad that I don't really have anything to give to our viewers about the Cody Rhodes Cena segment. I and I
I'm
mean,
taking
so
it
here's the
no
thing.
flag.
Normally, I'd be on YouTube trying to watch it. I would be on, some sports or social media platform trying to find that segment to watch it. But honestly, I've been visiting with family, so it's been kind of tough to find the time. And then you've been working like stupid hours, so yeah, we kind of dropped the ball on researching it, but I don't think anything really was gained out of that segment.
It wasn't. So what I do recall, it was basically like the world's most hasty match setup in history. It was just like tussle, tussle, tussle. Ugh, Logan Paul. you know, we're gonna have a tag match, and like I did see parts of this segment, and it was just there was nothing earth shattering. There was nothing that perked me up and made me go oh no. It was 100% match setup. It was so freaking lame because it was all to set up the match. It was like, oh
And
look,
that's
Logan Paul. Oh look, okay, so Cena brings Logan Paul out. Okay, cool. I kind of get it. Paul's a heel. Cena's like, oh, he's got talent. Blah blah blah. Right. So cool. And then like it all spirals out of control, and then it's Cody, it's Jay, and it's just like, okay, you did all that to set up a match. There was no substance. Right. There was nothing. It was crap.
and the thing was, we've commented on during Saturday night's main event that that was the best heel Cena work that we've seen since he turned heel, and then it was just kind of like you started to like, I want to see more of that, and honestly, I didn't see it. But what you're telling me, they didn't keep going forward with it. They kind of Cena
Nah,
kind
they
of
just
stalled.
kind of
They
he
stalled
came
it
out.
out.
He kind of came out. He dropped. He did Cena-isms, and I don't know. It just there's always going to be people that disagree with me, but it didn't move the needle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if you're in the center of the needle and you go, oh, over here is heel, over here is face, like Cena kind of does this, and then he just kind of does this. Like, he's not, whereas other people, when they're on their heel runs, like, I give him credit, man. Roman Reigns, when he was full blown heel, was like, vibrating down here,
Seth
in full
Rollins is
fledged
on his
heel.
way. Seth Rollins
Yeah.
is on his way, by the way,
So,
big time.
like, the Cena's always going to have an uphill battle because it's his going away tour. It is kind of a middle finger to fans when you really stop and think about it until he turns back face because it's just like, we want to celebrate you. You're leaving us. And then it's just like, haha, I'm a heel, bitches. You can't celebrate me. But he's like, it, we talked about it before, man. Excess. Cena needs excess, and that's the problem, right? He's got to fight the fact that he's got all those years as an effing face. He's got to fight all those years of people just loving him or hating him or appreciating him, whatever, right? He's got to fight all that. So you have to do everything tenfold. And I think that's why his run is falling flat is he's not doing it tenfold. He's doing it like the work he's doing, any other heel could probably get over, but like he's he's got to do more. The bar's too high. Like what going back to the meter when he was a face, he's like way over here, and like he's got to flip that needle all the way to here. Well, he's you know
Yeah. It'd be like they should plant a fan and say, hey, it's my 10th birthday and I'm here to see John Cena. And as John Cena walks out, he just looks at the fan. The kid's all excited to see him. He just grabs his sign and rips it up and throws back on and walk away. Something simple as that would generate huge heat.
so he's
Except
got
for us sarcastic people that would find that actually funny, and we would think that's cool that Cena did it. So, because I would think it's
so
hilarious.
I think his biggest challenge, that's the other half of his biggest challenge in this heel run is he can talk shit to the fans, but at the end of the day, he is doing his best to be John Cena the man and John Cena the heel. And those are two totally different people. And John Cena the man is still the guy that made, you know, set the world record for Make-A-Wishes and stuff like that. John Cena, the man, is awesome, and he's still, I'm 100% sure he's still out there doing his thing, right? He's not acting like an asshole at meet and greets. He's kind of being the John Cena, right? Whereas in the ring, he's trying to hit the toggle switch, and it's hard. Like, sometimes you just got to drag kayfabe into real life, and I don't think he has it in him to do it. So, that goes back to my point that his whole climb is 10 times harder than anybody else making a flip from face to heel. So usually that's the easiest transition in the world. It's easy being bad, it's hard being good and getting over. So, eh, it is what it is, man. I don't want to harp on Cena too much, but like it is interesting over this run because like a lot of people are crapping on his run, and it's just like it's not perfect, but you gotta kind of like understand the context, right? Like, unless he's gonna go out there and just like literally drag like three toddlers into the ring and start curb stomping them or something, like you're never gonna get that full blown heel. Which goes back to the R-Truth point. He
I'm a horrible
should
person
be,
for laughing at that, by the way.
but my point
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that's
I
the
know.
only way he's gonna go full heel, right? He 110 billion% should open up SmackDown tomorrow and come out and say, I am the reason R-Truth is gone. And you know what? F Carlito too. Like he should 100% own it and be like, you liked him. I don't. Deuces. And just cut it at that. Like if he did that, because there is so much of a swell for freaking R-Truth, because all of a sudden everybody loves all R-Truth's antics, which, you know what? There's a lot of bull crap people on this planet, and they're all on social media and they're all in the IWC. Because let me tell you something, man. I have never seen a bigger bunch of people that are so full of crap in my life. Because, like, all the people that crapped on him before he went into that Cena match on Saturday night's main event, those are the same those are the
That are
same people
bitching the
that are out
most
there
about them.
crying.
Yep.
All of
Yeah.
them, and it's crap because it's like, you know what? Yeah, look, I can hold my head high. You can hold your head high because what have we always said? We love R-Truth. We've always said that we love his stuff and we appreciated him for what he did. Like even going into the Cena match, it made sense to us. Why? Because he was the John Cena fan. He's always been the John Cena fan. He is the right guy to tell John Cena, like, yo, you're full of crap. What the hell is wrong with you? You're not the guy that I grew up loving, even though he's older. But neither here nor there. The point is that it made sense storyline wise. Everybody wants to book these like, we're gonna get to the CM Punk and John Cena. We're gonna get to all that crap. But the important part here is, as it pertains to like R-Truth, is and this is my rant, man. Like, just own your shit. Own it.
Yep.
Own
Own
it.
it.
Because you can't on one hand crap all over the dude and then on the other hand be like, what do you mean he's gone? Like, look, I said it earlier and I stand by it. It was a business decision. He's 54. I
He
get it.
wanted this much money. They wanted to give him this much money. They didn't agree, so they
Look,
decided to
I
part
know we've
ways.
I know we've kind of come full circle on this, but I'm going to say this too. Like, especially
But
as
we're
we
not
get into
sitting here pissing and moaning at the WWE because R-Truth's not there. Like as wrestling fans, we're bummed out. But as human beings with like a little bit of logic in our minds, maybe we understand why. Like we said earlier. So
well,
for
and
people get
that's important because like people need to understand like look, outside of that Cena match and a couple of squashes, when's the last time you seen him wrestle? Like about a year now when he was
when
with
he
the
was
Miz?
tagging with the Miz and they were the tag champs.
You
After
know,
that, he kind of dropped off.
so from a business perspective, I have a guy that yes is brilliant camera time comedy relief. I have a guy that is loved by the locker room, which are very important things. However, I also have a guy that doesn't wrestle on the regular, only gets fragments of freaking screen time, and you know, so the number has to be lower. If you're just happy to be there, then you pay him for I'm happy to be here money. If you're milking the cow, then yes, you got to pay the cow more. But he wasn't, so again, I love R-Truth, but like I hate how hollow people are at times, and it really bothered me to see people like, "What do you mean he's gone?" It's like, bro, he's 54. He's not really wrestling. Yes, he's hilarious, but bro, So all right,
Real
we're gonna
quick to
move
get before
on.
we get off R-Truth, you know what R-Truth would be hilarious on? Kill Tony. Just have a guest
Yeah,
on Kill Tony. Like, yeah, that would be a kill. But
I
that just popped in
wish,
my head because he would be
I
hilarious on
wish.
something like that. You're gonna see R-Truth around or Ron Killings or
Why can't they do with R-Truth what they're doing with Big E, man? Oh my God, could you imagine R-Truth just sitting at the table during these pre-shows talking about every match, not just the John Cena thing, like just being R-Truth? Like I don't know. I really think that
I don't think that'll work now because I think what they're trying to do with the PLEs with the pre-show, I think they're trying to make it something like the NFL today or like it or like the pre-race show for NASCAR, which nobody can touch it on Prime, but that's a different discussion. But like I think they're trying to make it like more like an event, and they're trying to a lot of that video they talk serious. There's not a lot of joking around the pre-show. They're trying to get to the point of it. But yeah, I wish they could
I
have kept
will.
our truth around in some way. But we'll see him again.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure.
hey, I'm all for. First off, I don't really crap on Netflix's coverage of Raw because I think it's fine. If Prime wants to buy SmackDown, go ahead, do that because after their NASCAR work these last couple of weeks, I have full faith in Prime to put on a great freaking show, and I think it would be worth it. But yeah, it's just there's so many cool things floating around. But hey, you know what? We've been talking about the steaming turd for 43 minutes. It's probably time to move on. All right, man. Well, again, some of the behind the scenes stuff, if you guys don't see it, it's pretty freaking hilarious. So we had mic issues this time, but now it's Matt's fault, not mine. I
And
went through all my woes last time. So, anyways, we're going to get into Raw. So let's get into Raw. And yeah, so here comes my rant of the week. And I'm wearing NASCAR, and there's a reason why I'm wearing NASCAR. Look, WWE is not doing themselves any kinds of favors, especially after all the blowback from the R-Truth shit, by having their ring look like my shirt, right? Like, there was, once again, we went back to the ring with logos all over the place. I guess they just cut a deal with Slim Jim,
oh
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, snap into this. How about snapping to put your effing logo in the middle of your freaking product? Like, look, I can tolerate advertisements on the mat. What I can't tolerate is taking away the middle of the mat. And, like, I'm 100% convinced this is a TKO thing. and you're effing up the brand. Now, I feel like there are times with WWE right now in this near term that they're like two teenage high school girls like experimenting and seeing what they like and what they don't.
Let's bedazzle the
Because
ring.
Jesus, so I feel like that's what's going on. But oh my God, could you have picked a worse time to do that? And look, I'm dead serious, man. You can do whatever you want on the sides, on the aprons, everything else. That center logo crap has got to go. I need a big WWE logo in the middle because what they're doing now is shit. Thoughts?
Yeah. I didn't like it. And then I really didn't like it. Was some point during the show, somebody got DDT'd or something, and they said their face, and Pat's like, his face bounced right off the Slim Jim logo. And I was just kind of like, oh,
It's just,
I would have much
it's
rather.
like a drinking game. How many times you got to drink every time we get the sponsor's name in to
Yeah,
the freaking call?
I know. Pretty soon, when the wrestlers win the match, they're going to be like, oh, I want to thank my family. Then I want to thank Budweiser and Snickers, M&M's, Pokemon, Nickelodeon Junior. Rebel Bourbon.
So let's listen. Let's be okay. Let's be fair to everyone. I want to be fair to everyone right now because look, it wasn't that long ago, if you recall correctly. Um, it wasn't that long ago that we had a Bray Wyatt match that was brought to you by Mountain Dew Dark or some crazy crap like that. That wasn't that long ago. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, and that wasn't a TKO thing. That was a WWE thing. So like, it happens.
So again, the thing with sponsors, I get it. They bring in money, they bring in revenue. I don't have a problem with sponsors. That Bray Wyatt, that whole Mountain Dew match was, that was the thing. I just don't want it where in the shuffle, the identity of WWE gets lost. That's all I really want with the sponsor deal.
Same. But like I said, we have to call balls and strikes, right? We have to say that. So everybody's going to run out and go, oh, it's TKO. All this sponsor crap is TKO. Well, it's not just that. WWE's been playing with this for years.
Yes.
We got like a techno rave match because of Mountain Dew Dark or whatever the hell it was at the time. So like I wanted to make sure I said that because I hate it. Like I said, when they had sponsors on the outside and just a big WWE, I was cool. That's all I want. Like everything out, the center of the ring really should be a WWE logo and only a WWE logo.
Agreed.
But we got some comic relief because I totally forgot about this that Pat McAfee and Michael Cole had a bet. And like Michael Cole lost and he had to wear a freaking basketball jersey and I thought it was great. And the best part about it is Michael Cole is in pretty good shape. Like he's not dad bod. He's like actually in pretty decent shape. So when he was flexing and showing off the guns, I was like, good on you, man. He probably knew it was coming, so he was probably back doing curls and crap. Like, I gotta do shoulder shrugs. Like, I gotta get him up.
Gotta get a
like,
pump. Get a
you
pump.
know,
Yeah. Hey, he's 60. He looks good for 60.
low weight, high reps, let's go. But the point is he looked good, but it was great that they brought it back. It's great that they actually did it because I do like at times where they get out of their comfort zones, right? Like McAfee's McAfee and Michael Cole's Michael Cole, but like when they can get them out of their comfort zones, which is why I do think McAfee's not everybody's cup of tea, right? I get it. But I think that's why him and Cole work so well together because it's kind of like you and I just jaw jacking, right? You know, this is why I can never be a ring announcer or be an announcer either because I just be like, oh, that was really cool. Like, what the hell was that, Matt? Like,
Yeah.
that's why I don't do. That's
No.
why we don't do live watches either
No.
because we just be like, ugh, so, but no, it was cool they brought it off and whatnot.
And I thought it was hilarious. Pat telling Coley looks like an asshole was hilarious. And then I liked how they worked in some heat with the Pat worked in some heat with the Oklahoma City fans in Tulsa,
Yep.
and that was good. And then
No, it was great. It was perfect timing for them too. The way everything kind of lined up with like the basketball playoffs and stuff. It was like it kind of worked out really well for them.
it really kind of led in really good to the first segment of the show when CM Punk comes
Yep,
out.
we got to CM Punk comes out and we get references to The Rock. Look, shit or get off the pot. Either he's part of the effing story or he's not. I don't care which way you go, but it's one or the other. And I'm tired of it. Like, it's number one note for this segment. It's like he referenced The Rock. Well, either The Rock is part of this or he isn't. Like, it has to be one or the other. But this isn't some, like, kiddie pool thing where you just dip your toes in. No, I need a cannonball in the deep end. Like, if The Rock is going to be part of this, then The Rock needs to be a part of this. If The Rock is not going to be a part of this, fine. Stop referencing him. Like, I can't take this tweener shit.
Yeah, make a commitment. It's hurting. It's not helping the storyline if you keep teasing him. He doesn't show up, and it just pisses the fans off because they want us. I mean, as much as they don't like him, you want to see The Rock. He's one of the biggest stars in the world, and then just having him not even acknowledge or acknowledge the segment or even show up once. Fans are getting pissed. They've been pissed. They're just getting more angry about it, and that it could it could not a ton, but I think it would drive away some viewers if they do stuff like that enough. And it's coming from him. Dwayne's the one he's the one to blame. It's
Yeah.
nobody else.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I've been harsh on this Rock stuff, and I'm still harsh on it. I don't want him near wrestling right now at all. I don't trust him around wrestling. And here's the problem, right? I think he makes a mess of anything he touches. And I think that if you let him, it's the biggest fear I had with of all the rumors. The biggest fear I have is that The Rock gets his way and Triple H goes out because he's going to put his little writer buddy in charge or whatever. And that's horrible. Look, I have seen enough out of Triple H. I have seen enough out of Shawn Michaels, and I've seen enough out of Road Dogg to know those three guys, if left to their own devices, if you keep everybody out of their way, what did WCW in? Because you let the lunatics run the asylum. That's what ended WCW. And even if it's one raving lunatic in The Rock, you can undermine every effing thing that's going on right now. They were hotter than hot can be. They had great storylines. Everything made sense. The flow of the shows was great. Everything was clicking on all effing cylinders. And I get it. You're not going to get a 10 every show. You're not. But holy crap. If whoever is getting in to the ears of the people need to just step the F
Yeah.
back.
I think The Rock looks at like WWE like a hobby. It's like a hobby. Like, oh, yeah, I did this for a long time, and now I just kind of want to do it whenever I want. It's like a little hobby to him. With the guys you talked about, Triple H and the others, this is their way of life. This is what This is their whole life. And yes, it's their job, but they take it very seriously. And I think Rock is just so like distant from that attitude about it. I feel like I get from him and treats it as a hobby. Like, oh, I'll show up here. I got some time. Yeah, I'll dip back into this. It's just
It's the person that goes off of 20-year-old information and thinks it's applicable today. That's really what it is, right? Like, it's back in my day guy, right? You and I saw it a lot in the military. Like the same tactics and stuff that we would have used 20 years ago doesn't apply now. It's the same in wrestling, right? Like he's like, I'm The Rock. I know how to get fans over. I know how to do stadium, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter because the problem is what he was doing then does not apply to now. It's a different fan. One of the smartest things that Triple H did was started acknowledging everything and stop insulting our intelligence. You didn't just find Penta off the street. He was doing other shit. Acknowledge it. You didn't find Ray Phoenix. Like, people are coming. Like, who's the new hotness? Mariah May,
Yeah.
right? Like, they're all been elsewhere. You don't have to name them by name, but you have to acknowledge that they didn't just, the wrestling fairy didn't just show up and go, poof, here's a new wrestler, right? And that's the brilliance of Triple H right now is he's willing to use social media. He's willing to use other stuff. The problem is the formulas that were working right at the transition to TKO. I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of sort of had good idea fairies floating around that are starting to get their way, and we're making changes that make no sense. And what's happening is they're causing impacts on the overall product. But damn it, Matt, you see what The Rock does? He derails
He
everything.
does.
We're talking about CM Punk, and we just spent like 10 minutes rambling about The
Well, I
Rock.
was about ready to ask you a Nick Khan question, but I don't want to keep going further down the rabbit hole.
Like, so eh, I think Punk and Cena is going to happen eventually. I don't know if that's the SummerSlam match du jour. I think that if that's the I don't want to get into it right now.
I don't either. And I meant Tony Khan. Yeah, Nick Khan's the president of WWE, right? I always get Nick and Tony confused.
Whichever.
Who? Yeah, who?
Yes,
Yeah, who's the what? Yeah,
I think it's Nick.
yeah. Tony is the wild man that
So
runs AEW. Yeah, it was
so
solid, but it was kind of weird all the directions that they went with it. Because then the whole Punk must win thing, it's
so
reeked of desperation to me. With Sammy telling Punk, you
okay.
must win, you have to win. Like, uh,
Gotta read you my notes. I gotta read you my notes.
please do.
All right. So as I said, Punk and Cena is gonna happen.
Hmm.
I go. Sammy comes out whining. Sammy makes me want Punk to lose. Every time Punk spits fire, something happens to break it up. It's annoying. Look, he's had a couple of promos where he's opened up Raw and he has lit fire. Like he was hitting on all effing cylinders. Then somebody comes lazing out to the ring and it just derails the whole segment. Like, let that man spit fire for 10 minutes straight, man. Like, because when he's on a heater, it is so effing good. But of course, no. We get the glamour. And let me tell you something right now. So back during the Bloodline storyline, I think was it Wade Barrett? Somebody kept on calling him that. And
I think it
now
was
here
Wade.
I am a few
It was
years
either Wade or Corey Graves. It was one of the two. That's the only two I
might
can.
have been Corey Graves. But like they used to call him Glamoron and like guess what? He's a Glamoron. I can't ugh. Like
But the thing
the
is, like
Sammy
but I do
character.
like Sammy, and he's so talented. Like we're not, we're not shoving Sammy down. But yeah, it's kind of like
Eh,
I,
I kind of am because the character right now is annoying, and
I
like
think it's on
you have
purpose.
to win.
It's got to be
I
on
know it
purpose.
is. I know it is, but it's so bad. It's just go get him, Tiger. You
Yeah.
have to
We
win.
need
And I
you.
hate the
You're our
crowd.
last hope.
I hate.
Yeah.
He's like the G-rated golly gee whiz guy, and I can't effing stand it.
He's like a hairy Bob Backlund. Well, golly
He's
there, Vince. I'm gonna give 110%, and I'm gonna give my best for those people. I mean, he's Bob Backlund 2.0. Not Mr. Backlund, Bob.
he's Will Ferrell's character from fucking Saturday Night Live. The cheerleader character
Yeah,
that he used to do. It's Sami Zayn.
with Sherry O'Terry, yeah.
Oh my god. I so much. Oh, sorry.
Let's get excited.
I
Go
I
Cougars.
wanted
Or
somebody
two,
to get a
whatever.
hold of Will Ferrell. I want a skit. I don't care if it's on SNL. I just need the short of it of like Will Ferrell. Hey, he did it with Christopher Walken in the cowbell. He can pull it off. I need to see Sami Zayn, who's now a meme, by the way. Have you seen this meme of him dancing to Jay's intro?
Yes,
There's a
yes.
meme out there, or
I've seen
a
the
GIF.
GIF. Yeah, yeah, it's like it says something about like
It's
fight.
actually pretty
Yeah,
good
when you got to find your own way or something, or I mean, they put something funny.
because he's a glomerate.
Yeah,
He's a tick.
yeah.
Anyways, I like, but yeah, okay. He is forever now Will Ferrell's cheerleading character.
Okay.
But like I said, man, it was a good segment. Punk. Here's the problem. Punk had me excited and Punk had me interested, and then you sent Sami Zayn out, and I became disinterested, and I really didn't like I wanted him to lose no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, that's how bad of an impact having Sami Zayn come out for that was. And so it is what it is. I'm gonna move on from this, but like, oof, if Punk is spitting fire, because you got to remember, Sean is never seen Punk except for this iteration of Punk. So I don't have any nostalgia to hold on to. I don't have any history. I know the name, but I just don't care. I care about what's happening now because I have none of that sentimental value. Like it's totally different when I see like Stone Cold, right? Like I watched him a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even The Rock to an extent. Like I watched him a lot. I care. Triple H, I care a lot. But like Punk coming back, I missed his entire freaking thing. So now I'm just like, meh, impress me. And like I have gone to, I respect him now, but there's also like stuff like this. Like I get a heater of a freaking promo, and then here comes the Ice Bucket Brigade to like chill it out, and like it really kind of ruined it for me.
Sami Zayn's like the guy that sneaks around and lets airs out of people's tires. Like Punk's having a great segment, and here's Sammy like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull the valve stem out right now. I'm gonna let the air out of this."
Yeah,
Yeah.
he killed that segment. He killed that segment, and like the worst part about it is you want people to want. Look, the fans love Punk, right? Again, nostalgia meter, great form, whatever. But fans love Punk, and having Sammy come out as the wet noodle and kind of screw all that up was just kind of like,
Well, it's intentional. It's set up. It's part of the story. That whole
it was a bad call.
yeah.
Someday they'll see this. Well, we know they watch, but someday they'll realize and they'll just put us on the payroll. I can be had for reasonable price. Um,
As long
I'm
as
a mercenary.
yeah. Well, yes, and then Sammy kind of came across. I put in my notes. Sammy comes across as Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my God, we're piling on the poor guy so
All right.
bad right now.
Not all right. That doesn't mean
Eeyore,
we don't like him. We're having fun. We like Sammy. So if they're getting a reaction like this from us, whatever they're doing with the character is working. So it.
Nobody likes the Debbie Downer, man. Like, I'm trying to have fun watching wrestling. I don't want to watch like.
But I think what they do with Sammy here leads a little bit further on in the show with a certain backstage segment too.
Listen, if he starts popping out of a well like the chick from the Ring, which really should be Nikki Cross's role. Like, if I had to do a Nikki Cross intro, I would just have a giant well on the on the thing, and she would just come crawling out like the chick from the Ring. But anyways, so next match, we get Liv Morgan, we get Stephanie yeah, Varger,
Fakir.
and Ivy Nile. Fagir, damn it. I think I spelt it wrong on my notes. Look, this was a fun match. I enjoyed this match a lot. Like, those women were thrown down. This goes back to what I was saying, though. There is definitely a deliberate effort by WWE to prop up their women. This match did a lot for that. Fagir is so freaking good. She is really good.
Yeah.
Liv is really good, too.
Yeah, and
Which,
I have
me saying Liv is really good is huge because, like, it's been fun to watch her grow. She used to be okay, and she had to go through that hardcore phase to kind of get her over the hump. And it's like the magic just clicked for her, and I'm happy for it because, like, I always liked her, but now the talent's caught up to the likability for her. So I really like that a lot.
And I really liked what Ivy Nile did in that match. She really shone out in that match. I mean, all three ladies did, but like Ivy wasn't the perennial, one getting whipped and thrown around. She got her stuff in. There was a couple near falls where you thought she could have got it. So obviously they see a lot in Ivy Nile to do something down the line. She's a super athlete and she can really work. So everything about that match I liked. I gave it a B plus. I think at some point I think it was during this match or it might have been during maybe the next one is when I texted you and I said that this is already like 1,000 times better than SmackDown Friday night. And it was
So
within the first 30 minutes and it already beat SmackDown. So
here's now keep in mind, folks, like Matt and I usually take notes as we're watching to get that real time feel. These are my notes from that match. Valkyria is really good. Liv is really good. Nile has potential. Double code breaker was cool. Decent ending. Valkyria is really good. Like it, I was impressed as hell in that match. I loved all three ladies in that match, and obviously Stephanie Valkyria like stood out. But I think that she's ready. She's good.
yeah, and the
So
pace of that match was awesome too because
yes,
they didn't go 100 miles an hour and
didn't
blow
lag.
themselves up. It ebbed and flowed. So the pacing in that match super good. So yeah, glad to see that they are really elevating Fakir. She's destined for big things.
She gonna have a title soon.
Yep.
I have no doubt. It ain't gonna be no mid card. She's gonna be in the mix with the big
Yep.
ladies. You know. So then we get Paul Heyman and AJ Styles. Eh, Paul was kind of distracting AJ, like go after the IC or whatever. Cool. He's running interference. I'm not gonna fault him for it. Wasn't huge. It was cool.
It's just
Uh,
Paul being slimy. It's just another way for Paul to be scummy and slimy. Even to the point where he referenced he made a mentioned about Dom's mustache, calling it a dirty Sanchez on TV. I don't think that's PG.
Netflix. It's not TV.
Yeah, but I don't
It's
think
a channel.
that's PG.
All right. So next we get a tag match, and it's new. We find out that Judgment Day has a new theme. More to follow. I don't know. Like it threw me off because like the music hit, and I was like, "Who's coming out?" But I guess agreement, the agreement for the Judgment Day theme. This is what I read. Don't quote me on it. Agreement for the Judgment Day theme was arranged by Edge. It was done as a favor to Edge. Edge is obviously in AEW now. Um, and I guess the agreement wore out, so they had to crap out a new theme.
Oh,
It
okay.
wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It just I need time to adjust.
Yeah,
I don't like change. I'm old.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, wasn't a deal breaker for me, but it was different. But I think maybe it's they're doing it also more because now Finn and JD seem to be a team. So maybe it's also to give them that identity as a team, possibly. But we'll see if they use it for. Because Dom will have his entrance, Liv and Raquel will have their entrances, and I think this might be the Finn and JD package.
I don't see that lasting long because my last note coming out of this match. First off, Jessica Carr match.
Hmm.
Whoo, awesome. Um, you actually caught it this time. We were just like, she's at it again, doing great stuff. Um, I think the way this is going is you're gonna fit. We've been saying for a while Finn's gonna break out, but I think Roxanne goes with him. So I think we find out that Finn and Roxanne are peas in a pod, and he's gonna take her under her wing, and then you'll get a program where it's kind of Judgment Day, primarily Dom versus and Liv versus those two, and I don't know. You know, the parents are going to break up. They're going to get 2 Christmases, and with Carlito out of there now, and like, look, Carlito, same as R-Truth, right? Like, other than being cannon fodder, what does Carlito bring to the table? Not much.
No.
Like, he's been sitting in the background. He doesn't even really add anything to the Judgment Day storyline. He's just kind of back there eating apples and just nodding.
Saying the wrong
You
things at the
know,
wrong time.
he's the
Yeah.
yes man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah. You know,
Want an apple?
at least with Ron Simmons, we got a damn.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I'm not heartbroken that he's gone. I will miss the times when Braun Breaker would fold him like a damn table, but I get it, right? There again, return on investment. I'm not going to pay a guy to just get broken in half every night, by Braun Breaker.
And the
So,
Apple budget alone must have started getting expensive because they went through some apples.
inflation, man.
Yeah.
All right, so Lyra and Becky come out. Look, their promo battles are the biggest takeaway from this promo is Becky is putting Lyra over and strapping a rocket to her ass and lighting the fuse. Like, I don't think everybody's looking at it like, oh, she's getting Becky on the mic every time now. No. What's happening is Becky is putting her in positions where she can showcase her talent. And like that is the definition of getting somebody over. Becky Lynch is getting Lyra Valkyria over because she's using the Becky Lynch rub to get people to watch this, and now all of a sudden everybody's watching Lyra Valkyria and going, "Oh, she can cut promos, she can wrestle, she's great."
Oh,
You know what
and
I mean?
Becky
She's
gets
kind.
more and more unhinged by the week, and she plays that part, like to the point where she like doesn't know what to say, and she like starts running away and running back. She's playing like you ever get so mad you don't know what to say, you get mid sentence and you
Yep,
forget, and then you start walking
about that
somewhere, and
this
then
week.
like you take 4 paces and you turn around to go back, and then you just turn around to go back the way you're going because you're so mad. She plays that like so good. So we keep talking about bitter Becky. Now it's like bitter, unhinged Becky, and it's just more. So every week she's elevating that, and Lyra's been like, I mean, her zingers are great. Whether she's coming up with them or the writing crew's coming up with them, but it's also her delivery, how she delivers them is really good. It's you can spout off words, but it's how you say them, how you emote them to get a reaction, and this stuff's been good. And I'm glad that they got another pay-per-view match or PLE match coming up too.
Me too. And like I don't care about the results of the match. I just like the build here. This is one of those builds I'm really enjoying. And like cuz you're kind of like how far is Becky going to go? There's a lot of back and forth, so good stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So next we get Jay and Sammy
Well, you
versus
skipped
the Braun.
Finn and JD and the War Raiders, the match itself, which
It
yeah,
was a match. I think they had more storyline impacts than
yeah,
anything as far as
with
Judgment Day goes.
because of
So
Roxanne interfering and all that. Yeah,
yeah, that was storyline driven. So we get Jay and Sammy, we get the Bronze. Jay's entrance is still number one, man.
yeah.
He's numero uno for entrances, and the camera work they're doing on his entrances when they get the drones right, whew, it looks so good. When you see all the stadium just freaking throwing down, I'm like, ugh. What else do I got on this? Sammy is a strap hanger. Shocker. Um, okay. Minor rant. Actually, it's a pet peeve. Explosivity is not an effing word. It gets used far too often on these broadcasts. Explosivity is not a word. Explosiveness is a word. Explosivity is not. Take that lesson from me, Pat McAfee. Explosivity is not an effing word, and it hurts my brain and my ears every time I hear it.
I I guess I'm not as English sensitive as you because I
I'm
never noticed that.
I'm
Now you're
not
gonna have me
either.
listening to hear Pat McAfee say explosivity. Sure,
Explosivity.
explosivity.
It's
Yeah.
Gunther has a ton of explosivity. No, Gunther has a ton of explosiveness. Like it doesn't even roll off the tongue, so it bothers me. And like when I hear it, it's like somebody jamming a freaking spike into my ear. It's a horrible word, and it's not even really a word.
So you were talking about entrances with Finn and JD. We had a different entrance from Braun and Bronson, and
Yes.
lot less color. I love Paul Heyman just coming out like my name is Paul Heyman and just a spotlight on Paul, and then off to the side the other two came out, with their music, but like it was darker. It wasn't all because Braun used to be pretty bright, a lot of reds and stuff like that. It's darker. It's more like we ain't here. It's not pretty anymore. We're just here to kick ass and take names. There's nothing
I love
there's nothing fancy about this faction, and that's what makes it great. It's like it's getting more bare bones as we're going along, and it's awesome.
I love how like IWC out there like go, this faction sucks. And then in the same breath they'll go, we want long-term builds. And then like you get a long-term build as this faction's coming up and they're doing really good. And like what's hilarious is unless you're paying attention, you're not really picking up on all the subtle changes as they progress. You know, they went from who they were to suits. Their freaking ring attire is now all black and subdued. No color. Their entrance, different. Even Heyman's entrance, different. Seth's wardrobe, different.
Way different.
Everything
Yeah.
is slowly changed. You know, Seth Rollins has gone from belle of the ball to like this transition. And Rollins' transition has been the best fashion wise because they went from super flamboyant to kind of flamboyant to kind of okay to kind of really subdued, and like they've been gradually changing the character, and they're gradually changing Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, so hold the door, the Bronze are there. So
Tell you, I love them as a tag team. I know we talk about Breaker being in the world title picture. I'm really, after watching those two together, I'm really intrigued to man, just run them as a tag. It's just they complement each other well. Braun with his
yep,
insane athleticism,
speed.
and Bronson is an agile big guy that can do a lot of stuff. It's kind of like two athletic freaks on the same team that just they're impressive everything they
I
do.
think I think there's a lot of good there in the sense that not so much for Breaker, but kind of building up Bronson Reed, right? I'm sure Breaker already thinks he's title contender, so and he
He
is.
is.
But the thing is that Breaker is a little bit kind of they're holding Breaker back to get Bronson Reed up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Bronson Reed just got back, so they're like, "Hey, Breaker's way up here. How about you run up to him first, and then we'll both run up to Seth." And like, I think it's just going to continue to get better.
Right. And you let Seth, because Seth wants to go after the world title. And being the world tag champs is not like a toss away title. I mean, you're the world tag team champion, so it's an elite title for the tag team division. So I don't think it's a step down. So if you're letting Seth kind of go for his world title stuff and all these other dudes, I don't think it's a bad
For
thing.
now,
Yeah, for now,
no.
because eventually Braun Breaker's going to be in the world title picture heavy. But before that comes, man, start working him up to be a Grand Slam champion. So let him be with Bronson Reed. Let him win the World Tag Team title. Boom, now he can check that off. He can check off the IC title. Now he can start working towards that Grand Slam list. That seems to be like a big deal. And it is. especially now that they keep adding more titles. So why not?
So
You have to be a tag team. They win the belts. They win it for a couple, 3-4 months. They lose it. Then you can work on pushing Braun Breaker up into the world title ranks. It'd be
a couple
intriguing.
other takeaways from this is Sleeper is definitely in Jay's arsenal. Um, Stomp for the win. And then I want more break Punk, break Jay. Like, I wanted them to destroy them. Now, props to Seth Rollins. Props to the storyline. He came out, he said, we know where he's going to be later. Just trust me on this, blah, blah, blah. Brilliantly done. Well freaking done. Like, why aren't you just destroying them now? No, 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 no. We know where he's going to be. Cool. Well played. So, we got Kairi Sane and Raquel. It was a match. Uh, Cross and Sammy. The only note I got on Cross, and I mentioned it earlier, Cross is on the Chelsea Green plan. Anytime he gets airtime, he maximizes the crap out of it right now. They need to do something with him, but he's maximizing his airtime right now.
And that was kind of what I was talking the first segment about Sammy. I think a lot of that what we saw where he's kind of the Debbie Downer and all this stuff. I think that kind of fed into that backstage segment with Karrion Cross, telling him, you're not a good guy, you're a bad guy. So I think you're going to see. Hopefully, if they keep Karrion Cross around, I think they should build on that. Because I mean, what Sammy's
I think
kind of
so.
doing by being, you call him this tick, this hanger on, what's the glamper,
Strap
strap
hanger,
hanger, whatever.
clobber.
It's kind of heelish, isn't it? In itself, in a way, because you're
No,
being kind of.
no, because
It's easy to
he's the
turn.
Will Ferrell cheerleader character. That's why it's not effective. Like, I could see it if he was always hanging around and just, I gotta get mine, I gotta get mine. But he doesn't do
But the
that.
Will
Like,
Ferrell
it's just
cheerleader's
like,
phony too. So this whole thing with with Sammy
yes,
is phony. It's not the real Seth. He's putting on an act. It's all So
I
you're
got it.
building the
I
character.
got it, man. It's just, okay, sure. I'll let it ride for now, but, like, he's been this way for years,
Yeah,
so I'm
I
not,
know.
like, and then, so after that, we get the TED Talk from Gunther to Jay in the locker room. It was on point.
I kind
I
of like
mean,
that. I thought that was a cool segment. I'm not going to go into it
I
much,
do,
but
but again, this goes into the Gunther problem, right? Gunther has a problem. I don't know what the hell he is. We know he's great in the ring. We know he's okay on the mic, but I don't know what the hell his character is anymore. I don't know. And, like, him having the heart to heart with Jay does nothing for me. Nothing.
well, they always do that. They do this thing with Gunther where he does the respect thing a lot, and he shakes hands. They got to fight. He does that, and then he just goes to being like over the top, like just talking smack and putting everybody down and not giving any credit. I would just rather have him being just like a cocky European heel that kind of looks down at people, but he respects them. They do that a lot with him, and then they try to change it, and then it doesn't work, and then they try to go back to it, and now it's not working again. So it's like,
It's because his character has always needed something. That's the problem. You can be the arrogant European, but it doesn't do anything for you. Even when Triple H was the blue blood, it was just like, it was just meh. And he needed something more. And Gunther needs something more. He needs to find it. He doesn't have it. He has it in the ring. He has it sort of on the mic, but his character needs it, and he doesn't have it right now. Like, it does everything that he told Jay in the locker room, truth. But again, I don't care. That's my biggest problem with Gunther. Like, I want to see him succeed, but the character is just meh. It's a guy. It's a guy. It's somebody who, like, went into the wrestling game and maxed out all his specs, except for, like, charisma or something. I don't know. It's just like
90,
there's just
99,
no.
99, 99, 50, 90, 99, 99, 99.
Had to make cuts. Had to make cuts. It just, it didn't work.
Yep.
So after the TED Talk, we get El Grande Americano, Punk, and AJ Styles.
Love
This
this
was a good
match.
match.
Loved it.
This was a good match. And we got, like, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Every time Seth's faction touches somebody, I want more. It's the same with Cena. I want more. If you're going to belt somebody, just beat the crap out of them. Draw blood. I don't care. Any time that Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, or Seth Rollins are getting their hands on Jay, Sammy, or Punk right now, I need excessive violence. I need ridiculous amounts of violence. So that's my little piece on that. Like that's all I have in my notes. More. I want more. I need you're gonna get your heels over with excess. And that's how you do it. And you're not gonna get your heels over by we're doing stuff. No. I want him destroyed. And we need to be doing that.
So,
Because you need to hurt Punk before Money in the Bank. There's
yep.
a reason for it.
So we were texting during that match, remember? And I can't bring my phone up. Well, I can bring up my messages. And then we were kind of talking about this match going. At what point didn't I kind of say I wanted a certain somebody to win or should be winning this?
The guy that won.
Yeah, the guy that won.
Yeah.
Because it just, again, it made sense. Because Punk's gonna, I thought going in that Punk would have a chance, but like you said, he needed to lose, so he lost. So now he's let down Sammy, and the WWE will never look the same again. And then AJ, you knew AJ. I love AJ, but I just didn't see AJ in this year's Money in the Bank. He's
Well, again, the AJ answer goes back to what we talked about earlier. Money in the Bank is a unique style of match. AJ is seasoned enough where I don't necessarily need him in the match. There is an interesting dynamic in the women's version where it's 3 young and 3 old. 3 vets. Three young kids and 3 vets
right.
in that match. So that one's going to be a hoot. But let's not talk Money in the Bank.
No.
You got anything else on Raw, Matt?
No, but just real quick about El Grande Americano. Because before the show, Sean and I were talking, and so before the show, Sean and I were talking. Sean hates the El Grande Americano character. I like it.
Right.
I enjoy it. I think it's funny, and it's entertaining. And what I like what they're doing when Chad Gable wrestles just as Chad Gable, he's still great, but he's not as good as when he throws the mask on. He's El Grande Americano, like. And I know it's part of the storyline. I get it, but it's kind of really given a spark back to Chad Gable's career, having him do this. His match quality has been really good, and I just think it's entertaining. And we've talked about this in the past. And what I liked is at least he didn't load the mask this time either. He won clean.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
No, he didn't. So here's
Wait,
the
let me see
problem.
my notes.
This was camera work. Hold on, and I'm going to tell you why you don't have it in your notes.
Yeah, I didn't see him load the mask.
Work. I know you didn't, and that's the problem. So the camera work on the end of that match was bad. They screwed up. Okay, so here's the deal. There was other stuff going on, right? And El Grande Americano was not involved. So he's kind of off to the side.
Is that when they were like fighting outside the ring for a while? They were just
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and he was over, and he I'm telling you, because the finishing move, even though it didn't look like it, it was kind of a bad botch. I believe it was AJ Styles. AJ Styles comes off the top rope to do a thing. And you see Chad Gable put his arms hits the chest, but the problem is they called it as a headbutt. It was supposed to be a headbutt. AJ's out, right? So what you didn't see, what you should have seen,
He
at
was
least this
stuffing the
was my
mask.
interpretation, when he was off camera. So if Sean was producing this segment, what would have happened, which would have cleaned this up, there has been a lot of ass and trash left broadcast wise as of late, and I'm not a big fan of that, by the way. What would have happened? They can run replays for every effing thing, anyways. What you would have seen, like, all you needed was your announcers to go, well, while we were over here, El Grande Americano was over on the other side of the ring, and then he's stuffing the mask, stuffing the mask, stuffing the mask. Then he gets up, because the ref patted him down. So he had to get it from somewhere. So what you should have seen was him going through the steps to acquire it. But you shouldn't have seen it because your focus is, it's the David Copperfield
Right.
thing. Like, look over here. Pay no attention to this hand, right? So that should have happened. So, and my camera's picking up my gestures again. I swear I got Italian in me somewhere. Anyways, but yeah, so they kind of camera work botched it. They could have saved it. They could have shown him loading the mask, shown him getting wherever it was hidden. I don't give a crap if Ivy Nile crawled out from the ring and was like, here, or whatever. So they should have showed it. They didn't. They kind of screwed
Okay.
it up. It left it ambiguous. Whatever. Chad Gable's, El Grande Americano is in the freaking Money in the Bank match, which is great for him because we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But any other thoughts on Raw, Matt?
That's all I got for Raw. Solid show. Really good show.
It was good, show. It was good. So yeah, let's all right. So before we get fully into Money in the Bank, Matt and I were talking this week, right? And we're always willing to try new stuff because, well, we're two old farts with the podcast that many of you watch if you're watching now. So we came up with this pitch, and our pitch is we're going to do a segment right now, and then we're going to post it on our social medias, and you guys are going to tell us which pitch you like better, or you're going to tell us how to make it even better. But it's a quick pitch. We have a maximum of 30 seconds to make our pitch. And today's pitch is, how are you going to end Money in the Bank men's match? So I'm going to go first, Matt, and then I'm going to have you go. So here we go. Sean's pitch for Money in the Bank. El Grande Americano is going to get up, climb the ladder. He is going to secure the case. And then, in his jubilation, he is going to take off the mask. And he is going to reveal that he is Chad Gable. And the best part about this is, El Grande Americano qualified for the match, not Chad Gable. So what happens is the case gets re-racked, he gets DQ'd, somehow you get DQ'd out of a match with no DQs, and Chad Gable is DQ'd out, and Seth Rollins wins the case. What do you got, Matt?
Well, I do have Seth Rollins winning, and I think it's going to be via interference of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. They're going to come in, they're going to cause a disruption, and they're going to enable, whether it's Bronson Reed putting Seth Rollins on his shoulders and climbing that ladder so Seth can reach the briefcase. That would probably be the best way to do it. Just interference from Braun and Bronson. Reed just puts Seth on his shoulders because he's so beat up, climbs the ladder, allows Seth to reach up, grab the briefcase, and Seth is your winner.
I like that one. So, all right, folks, it's your time to decide which pitch do you like better for men's Money in the Bank. We're not saying this is going to happen. It was just a fun exercise to see who could pitch it out. So, by all means, let us know which one you liked better. All right. So, hopefully, all of you have thought about and watched our clip on how we would pitch this. Again, it's not our official thing, but whatever. It's a fun exercise. Leading into Money in the Bank. So, important notes about Money in the Bank right now. One, There's only 4 matches on the card right now. Okay, we're going to go through all 4. I have a sneaking suspicion one more match will get added probably tomorrow on SmackDown. But for right now, we got 4. We're going to work with 4. So, in no particular order, but I did put the Money in the Bank matches last because I think they warrant the most discussion. So we're going to get Lyra, Valkyria, and Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. This is going to be a fun match. I think their ultimate blow off is going to be a Stips match, but think I got to go Lyra here. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think Lyra too. It doesn't make sense for Becky to win. She's still got much more bitterness and anger to get out. And you're also, if you're working this hard to elevate Lyra, why would you not have her go over? She should go. I mean, she's not ready to lose the title yet. She will. She will lose that title, but not yet. But she's only going to lose that title when it's time for her to ascend into the world title picture ranks. So, uh,
It's a delicate balance, though, because if you're not careful, you're going to undermine Becky's credibility as a heel. That's the only caveat I got to this. Like, there is a chance that you could undermine that. So, delicate balance, delicate
well,
balance.
then
But
you have Lyra go
goes
over because of failed shenanigans on Becky's part. She's trying to do something against the rules or something, and then it costs her the match. And then you have your stiff match. And I think in this, maybe in your stiff match, that's when you would have Becky win. But yeah, I have Lyra going over at Money in the Bank. I think it could steal the show, which is tough to do against 2 ladder matches. But I think it's going to be a really solid match. They're both gonna. There's going to be a lot of give and take by both ladies, and I think it's going to be really entertaining.
a lot of people are kind of crapping on. They're like, "Oh my God, there's only 4." I'm like, if there's only 4 matches on the card for Money in the Bank, that means they're going to let those 2 ladder matches breathe big time. So hopefully it's not a crap fest, but that's what me, the forever optimist that I am, which is BS, but I'm kind of going into this hoping that the reason they're going to there's only 4 matches, is they're going to let those 2 matches go. There's a lot of talent in both those matches, so there's no reason why they can't. That's 6 people per match that needs to get their stuff in. So, well, we'll get to those. Next up, Cody and Jay versus Cena and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll let you take lead on this one.
Isn't it kind of weird you have all these big names and we're not excited? Not excited. Um, yeah, with all the talent in there, this is like a real marquee matchup, and I'm just not feeling any emotion or passion about this match. Will it be good? Yeah, but it's like I'm just not. They didn't make it. They didn't do it. It didn't have enough time to make you excited about it. I mean, we got it announced.
We talked about this. They just walked out and they were like, "You two are naughty. We're gonna have a match at Money in the Bank," and poof,
Yeah,
match. So it's like there was no build, and all the match was made on probably the crappiest SmackDown in quite a while. So take it for what it's worth. Um, yeah, I get it. I'm not excited either, but I think a little bit of that. There's a couple of factors here. Like I am. It was time for Cody to come back. I did say he had to be away for a while, so I'll acknowledge that. I think this is feeding the Jay storyline for overtaxing himself, trying to help everybody. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
I am intrigued to see.
Cena.
Have Cody and Logan Paul ever gone against each other?
I think they had like a regular match. Nothing special, nothing like a Saudi show, nothing
No.
PLE-ish. I think they have wrestled before,
I'm
though.
gonna find out right now.
So, I don't know. Maybe not. Woohoo! We're doing our research on the fly. But Yeah, I think there's a weird dynamic here. Honestly, I'm gonna take Cena and Logan Paul because I think Cena's heel run needs to keep on winning. However, it's a tag match, so you can accept a loss, but no. I think I'm gonna take Cena and Logan Paul in this one. I think every dirty truck comes out, and I think the five knuckle shuffle is actually going to be done with brass knucks from Logan Paul to John Cena.
I, but I
Boom.
could buy that. I
Rip.
could buy that. So, to confirm that we do research, yes, Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul did have a one-on-one at the King and Queen of the Ring event last May. So a year ago, yeah, Rhodes defeated Paul. Now I
It was
I
the
am
event.
remembering that match now, and it actually was pretty good. So, but it'll be
It's
fine.
fine. I mean,
But yeah,
tag matches protect Cena
yeah,
anyways, so like he doesn't have to do all the work. And look, I'll give Cena his props, man, because like his other returns, his one-offs, what have you, he's kind of come back floofy and not very ring shape. I can see him as he progresses getting into better and better and better ring shape. So his farewell match may very well be a
yeah.
banger by the end
No,
of this.
this
But
this could be. I mean,
I'm going to take the heels in this
yeah,
one.
me too. And
Yeah.
our next podcast, we could be talking about how this match surprised us. You never know; it might end up being better than expected. So, right now, I'm just not excited about it. Maybe once I watch the Mexican show and the AAA show, and then I watch the pre-show before Money in the Bank, maybe I'll start getting that excitement about it before the show hits. Right now, though, I'm whatever. Sure, I'll watch it.
Yeah. All right. So, ladies money in the bank match. Now you got me calling it ladder matches,
Sorry.
I know there's ladders in there. It's all good. Stephanie Vergeer, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Julia. Okay. I'm going to dissect the crap out of this one a little bit. Bliss, no. Not that I don't think she's talented enough. I don't think she needs it. That comes with a caveat. If you're going to do something with the Wyatt Six, there is an argument to be made that she needs the case. I'm going to make some cases here. So if I gave Alexa Bliss the case and then she starts having like the Wyatt Six destroy people to set them up so that she can go over, that'd be kind of cool. So current champions are Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky. Alexa Bliss in those matches. Maybe Stratton would be interesting. So, and she's
SmackDown.
a
Yeah.
SmackDown property, anyways. Roxanne Perez.
I'm gonna label her. Yeah, I was
Possibly.
just gonna say she's a maybe. Definite maybe.
She's a strong maybe because I think if you look at the Judgment Day storyline, and we're all about storylines here, that's how this podcast was founded. If you look at the Judgment Day storyline, that really puts a little bit of stuff in the craw of Liv Morgan. It really
Yep.
kind of upsets stuff. So I like that it upsets the apple cart a little bit.
And it's also
Um,
another thing when Finn and her
yeah,
do break from the Judgment Day, she's already got that with her, so that's a story within the story.
but I mean her being in the room with the case and it kind of lends her legitimacy. So now she can
Yep.
put chicken nuggets for
Right.
Dom in the
And then
case.
when
I
Liv
don't
gives
know,
her
but
shit,
the
she can
point
just
is,
hold the Money in the Bank briefcase like in front of her like they hold the title. Yeah.
so I can make an argument for Perez, Naomi.
No.
No,
No.
no. Naomi's got to close out the love
Yep.
triangle. So once the B actor playing is done and all that's done, then we can go for Naomi. Would it enhance that story? Not really. I don't. I think she's probably one of the weakest choices in this group. Rhea Ripley. I have a hard time with Rhea Ripley because she doesn't need a Money in the Bank, and it doesn't excite me to think about her with Money in the Bank. It doesn't do anything for me, her
It's
having it. She's a badass enough that she can climb her way back up into championship contention without needing the
right.
case.
Um, I have her as a maybe.
The
She's a
case is
maybe.
the easy
Yeah, she's a
ticket.
maybe. Right, you just said easy ticket. That's lazy booking, and we're trying to get away from lazy booking. So I am going to keep Rhea Ripley as a maybe. But I mean, me personally, again, if I was to book it, no. But thinking how WWE can work sometimes, and because how big a star she is, I'm just going to leave her as a maybe. But I think Roxanne Perez is a stronger maybe than Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and this is where that weird dynamic of three newer females and three vets in this match works for and against you in trying to figure out who's going to win. So that leads us to Julia. I don't think
No,
so. Because of the three younger talents, the two more over ones are Stephanie Vergere and Roxanne Perez.
I have a no for
I
her.
think we need to know
Yep.
Julia more that before we can really invest in her, right? Like we don't know enough, unless you're like an NXT stan, which I'm sure she did great, but we don't know enough about her in the context of the main roster right now to really justify putting the case in her hands. So I'm going to say no for her. So I'm a hard no on her, and I'm a no on Naomi, and I'm a soft no on Rhea
Okay.
Ripley. So that takes out three. That leaves Stephanie Vergere. I'm having a hard time with this one because this is one of those head and heart
Yep.
things. Um, so I do think one of the younger talents gets it. I think it's Perez, but I would not be shocked if Stephanie Vergere got it. And I just want to see her wrestle more. So give it to her. But for my official pick, I'll take Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, that's a sound. Yeah, and I would say that her and I know we said no about Alexa Bliss, but maybe Alexa Bliss is your dark horse.
Bliss is my maybe, and I can make compelling storylines off of her having the case. It is if she's going to be legitimate in the pictures, so to speak. Like if she isn't just kind of there, if she's going to get a nudge, not that she needs it, but she kind of need. They need to just decide what they're going to do with her.
So
Um,
this is really cool because we're going to talk about the men's Money in the Bank match, but there's no clear cut favorite really to win this. I mean, we're kind of leaning Roxanne, but we're not like I wouldn't stake money on Roxanne winning the Money in the Bank match.
no,
So,
no way.
the other one we kind of there's a 98% solution for the men's. That's what makes this one good because it's uh, again we've already called out the lazy booking if you pick Rhea Ripley, which still wouldn't be a bad choice if Rhea
I think that's
wins.
the worst choice of all. No, that would be the worst choice of all
You
of
think
them.
so?
Rhea would be the worst choice of all of them. I mean, we walked through it, right? Naomi with it, you could still add to the storyline. Rhea doesn't move the needle for me at all. Like, let it just
So
doesn't.
you like
Julia,
Rhea working it the
yeah,
hard way, working from underneath, and
yes, yes. I want her to climb because she can do it, and it makes her more compelling because she needs to chase. Getting the briefcase isn't a chase, right? So we saw it with Tiffany Stratton last year. She got the case. She finally cashed in. It was worth something. It paid off. And like Rhea Ripley doesn't need that. She's already been a champ. You could say the
yeah.
same for Alexa Bliss, but it's been a hot minute. So like maybe Alexa Bliss needs a shortcut or whatever. I have Alexa Bliss as my maybe. I'm going Roxanne Perez, but I can make a compelling case for almost every one of them except Rhea Ripley.
All right. Well, I think it'll be good regardless. I think this might be like the best match tonight. I know we mentioned Becky and Lyra being possibly a show stealer, but I think on paper, I think this is going to be the match of the night.
I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, so let's get into the men's match. So I think the men's match is really going to end up setting up more feuds than anything. I think it's going to be cool, but I think it's going to set up. So you got L.A.
Yeah.
Knight, yeah. Um, Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, Seth Rollins, and El Grande Americano. Um, so here's the deal. I already made my sales pitch about El Grande Americano. Like, honestly, I do think that's a possibility somewhat. I do think he might get revealed here. Also, keep in mind too, whether or not you want to believe it, Chad Gable's pulling double duty, by the way, because he is on the AAA as well. So, like at the end of the day, I got Seth Rollins winning this, but I think there's going to be interference. There is going to be shenanigans. I think you're going to get some great stuff with Penta and Andrade because, look, Penta's over, but Penta don't need the case.
No.
You know, LA Knight could use the case, but he's SmackDown, so do I really want to see him like chasing the cinema title? No. Solo, you can make an argument for, but I think at the end of the day, Seth Rollins needs the case and should have the case.
Yes.
Because then, because here's what happens, right? So Seth is chasing this title, and the beauty of this is, especially with the follow-on for Jay, right? Think about this in the long-term booking right now. So we know Jay does this tag match with Cody. Jay then has to defend against Gunther. Think about the beauty of this. Jay gets hurt in the tag match. He's dinged up. We're all going, oh, it's happening. Gunther's finally getting his title back. He's gonna go over on Jay. Blah, blah, blah. Hard fought fight. Slaps everywhere. Jay's chest is red. All this crap, right? And then Jay finds a way to win. The jubilation, we're yeeting our brains off. And then burn it down. WrestleMania flashback. Seth Rollins comes charging in and just cashes in on Jay right after this euphoric win. He got over Gunther again. And then, boom, Seth cashes in. I really think Seth gets this case. Which means he probably won't because they'll swerve me and I suck. But I think Seth gets a case. And if Seth gets a case, Seth cashes in after that Gunther match. Because here's the deal, right? Seth Gunther does nothing. Seth Jay does something because Jay's uber babyface right now. Seth taking out Jay, cashing in on Jay and taking the title off of him does a couple of things. It cleans up getting the title off of Jay in a way that makes Jay still look strong.
Yep, because then you still have Jay, Sammy, and Punk to still fight against that faction, which is a top feud. Yep. So it keeps Jay right in the spotlight.
Which, how do I put this? Because it's going to sound contradictory. That faction battle right now of Punk, Sammy, and Jay versus the Bronze and Seth doesn't require a title, but Seth needs the title. Seth needs the title for other reasons other than that, right? And I think there's an argument to be made that, you know, Seth cashing in on Jay, saves everybody. And then it does kind of leave Gunther in a lurch because he's a heel. But maybe there's a draft coming. I haven't heard anything
Me either.
About the draft lately. But like it was a thing, now it's not. I don't know. But like maybe Gunther finds a way to like go elsewhere. I don't know. I just Gunther's stuck in the mud. Gunther as the title holder doesn't really do anything for me. And Seth as the title holder does. And it's storyline and everything else. And then you're going to get your constant turn and burns with that other faction. So I feel pretty good about saying
I have Seth, and then if I had a dark horse, I would have to go with L.A. Knight because if say with what you say goes on and Seth's a heel, one it gets L.A. Knight over to Raw, and he can still maintain being a baby face chasing the heel. Well, that doesn't even matter anymore because faces fight faces and heels fight heels and whatever. But that'd be a good way to get LA Knight over to Raw, where you get him off. He doesn't have to challenge John Cena. He can get totally away from the cinema title, and he could just go to Raw and show up there one day and go after whoever. That Seth Rollins is the 98%, almost 99% solution that he's to win.
Well, let's go down the list. So we have two title holders. Right now we have Jey Uso,
Yep.
face, John Cena, heel. All right. LA Knight, John Cena does not move the needle for me, nor do I think they're going to waste one of his matches on him. So he's off for the cinema title. LA Knight, Jay, maybe, maybe not. Still doesn't really move the needle.
He's got a year to cash it, so he doesn't have to rush it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but like I don't see a lot of I see transitions, but I don't see
Right.
a lot of transitions.
No, I'm just saying he's a dark horse.
LA Knight Seth could be okay. Penta, I just think no way Penta gets it. Um Penta's kind of doesn't need it.
No.
He's gonna get a mid card title eventually, but like he doesn't need the world title right now. He's too damn good. Like he transcends the title. Andrade, hell no.
No, but he's just going to add a lot of flair to the match.
Yep. Solo Sikoa,
Nope.
maybe.
Uh,
I could make an argument for Solo because now you got Jacob with the U.S. title, and then you got Solo with the briefcase. However, unless you're going to split those two up, you don't gain anything unless Solo goes to Raw and challenges Jay. Then it's a family fight. Then it gets ugly. So he's a maybe, but probably a light maybe. El Grande Americano, no.
all right, going back to Solo. The Money in the Bank briefcase, you can cash that in even on the IC and the U.S. title, can't you?
If you do that, you're the biggest loser on the
Unless
planet.
you're Solo Sikoa and you have a falling out, him and Fatu have a falling out, and Solo just does it to take the U.S. title just to rub it in the face of Fatu. That would be the only way.
If he does that, I'm going to print out the recap of whatever event that takes place, and I'm going to use it as toilet paper. That is horrible. Like, it's absolutely positively horrible in no way, shape, or form. That was the problem with Reigns having both titles back in the day. Who the hell are you going to cash in on? And then you have poor Austin Theory like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it on the IC. I don't know. Like, no. It, absolutely, positively, the worst thing you could do as a wrestler is cash in. It would be like, all right, let me put it equivalent to you. It would be like winning an elimination chamber and going, I'm going for the U.S. title. Nobody's gonna
No,
do
but
that.
if you're involving Solo and Fatu in the falling out, and that's the way Solo screws over Fatu, just because,
I would crap.
only because it's
like
it would have,
a whole podcast.
but it would have to be for personal reasons. Like I'm willing to give this up just to get you, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just throwing what ifs because I don't have Solo.
No, because you can't do that with the Samoans anyways because they have that strong personality where they'll just fight you.
Yeah.
So all he's got to do is be like, "We're had a falling out. We're fighting." That's family shit. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't make a good argument for.
Well, I had Solo on my no list
LA
anyway.
Knight is just weird. LA Knight's a face. Yeah. We'll see what their long-term booking is, but right now it's Seth. Like, give Seth the case. I can make a lot of arguments for the case. We can have a couple of near scares with Jay because he's only chasing that title, which he was the first one to hold anyways. So,
So we got we got heels winning both Money in the Bank matches. We
Is Perez a heel?
yeah,
It,
ish right now, but
she's not established
right,
enough to make
yeah.
a call. She's a wrestler. I like, yeah, she's hanging out with Judgment Day, but
No, which I'm fine with. I'm fine
I
with
don't
the
know.
heels going over because it's kind of nice to see the heels
Yeah.
get their, you know.
Well, we had Lyra going
Yeah.
over. That's face. We did go kind of heel heavy
Seeing.
because we had Cena and Logan going over, which I hope so because like if we get the good vibes like Cody and Jay, it's just gonna be like
Yeah, it's syrupy.
unless you're putting that match on last and like the men's Money in the Bank winner turns around and cashes it in that night, that would be
Ooh.
fun. But
No,
no.
yeah, they could, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's too, yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
it would.
It's a fun exercise though. But you know what, Matt? Let's wrap it up. We got a big weekend of wrestling
Yeah.
coming up. So like we got AAA. Don't forget about AAA. And then we also got Money in the Bank. It's going to be a great Saturday. I've been informed by my family I'll have the house to myself. Woo woo. Time to watch some
Oh yeah,
wrestling.
my wife and my in-laws. I told them, I said, in this AAA show, you're gonna see stuff that's just gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be. If I mean, I remember watching the first World Collide back in '94 and just like being completely flamboozled by the stuff I saw. And now we're 30 years later. It's going to be off the charts entertaining. You just have to explain that in the lucha style, they have some particularly goofy characters, but it just adds to the mystique. Like Mr. Iguana,
I noticed in the
Dr. Wagner.
promo stuff and when they were announcing it, I was just like, "Ooh, this is weird, but I'm gonna try it." You
But
know.
that's a
So,
tradition of lucha libre. And so what I kind of hope in the tag matches, under AAA rules or lucha libre rules, you don't tag out of the ring. You can roll out of the ring and somebody else can jump in. And I hope they use, instead of the terms faces and heels, the technicos and the rudos. So I hope that we see like a really heavy and it's in LA like the first one. So hopefully we get to see some Spanish introductions and some of the lucha libre terms. I don't know who's called.
give it all. Give me
Yeah,
it all. I want all the
yeah.
culture.
He's not a bad guy. He's a
Like
rudo.
expose me
Yep.
to it.
And do we know who's the announce team for that show?
But I'm just gonna enjoy
Yeah,
the ride.
I hope it's not. And I love Cole and
I'm here to
McAfee.
enjoy the ride,
I want
man.
somebody that is in deep knowledge. Conan should be at least on the broadcast team.
That'd be
So
nice.
and whoever else they can get, but it should not. That should not be a Michael and Pat or a Joe and Wade thing. That's a different.
No. It needs to be somebody with
Yeah,
knowledge. We need a teacher.
yeah, because you got to.
We need a teacher brought in to really introduce these characters to us and make us understand who
Yep.
they are.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to watch as a fan. I'll have the notebook by, but I just want to be entertained. And real quick, I don't know how long the show is because initially a week or two ago they had it at 3 o'clock on YouTube, and then 5 o'clock. I think it would say 5 o'clock pre-show. They now have started the pre-show at 5:30, so I think they kick some extra time to this AAA show because they have 5 matches. So, and yeah, it'll be fun.
Let it ride.
It'll be a fun night,
It's gonna be
and then Money in the
blast.
Bank will cost. That'll be fun. So, with that, I think
Yep.
that's
Get your Texan fingers
Yeah.
going.
yep. Keep the battery charged. But no, I'm excited. It'll be a good one. And then, man, this is a hot Raw. The Monday after too. You got a world title match. So
Yeah, I like it. No commercials.
Yeah.
Come on. No commercials. If they hear anything that I say, I'm telling you right now, every main event on SmackDown, Raw, NXT, whoever, make it commercial free. Not side by side, commercial free. Get all your crack out ahead of time and make your main events commercial free. It is so worth it. When they do it, it is so.
I agree. And I guess that's all I got. I'm just ready to watch Friday, tomorrow night, and Saturday.
Yeah, Back-to-back days.
Yeah,
This is
and then
awesome.
Monday.
All right, Matt, tell the folks where they can
Oh,
find
they can
us.
find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, TikTok. Real quick on the TikTok things, if anybody watches or if it becomes a short, really good content coming from our viewers. They're making some really good comments.
Yes.
You know, we're not getting a lot, but we're getting a lot of quality. So people are really thinking about what they respond. So I know I like seeing them, and I like getting the opportunity to respond back. So yeah, please keep the comments up. And I think that's everything we have. Maybe a Facebook page to come out soon. So we'll keep working on it.
We're pacing
Yes.
ourselves.
Man, we're
Yes, we will. And again, everybody out there that has taken the time to sit here and watch us ramble, we thank you so much. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. And we will
what
talk to you guys
one
next
final
week.
thing before we go.
Oh, hold.
No,
Hold.
this is not wrestling related, but hey, tomorrow's an important day of remembrance. So, D-Day, 81 years ago today. So just remember those
Oh,
that.
it's a big year. It's a big year. It like on that note, like it's a big year. Like Marines just had their birthday. Army's about to have a big one.
Yeah, 250 for the
Day of
Army. Yep,
Remembrance.
250 for the Army.
Yep.
June Flag Day, June 14th. So I've been retired
Yep.
from the Army not even
So
18 months, and I had to think about what the birthday was. And then of course next year we get
you ain't got no board to go to.
the war is at home. No, I'm kidding. All right, folks. Well, with that, before I get in trouble with the wifey, I'm gonna pass it back over to Sean for his final thoughts.
Hey, nothing. We appreciate all y'all. Thank you for watching. And again, we'll talk to y'all next week.